But here she continues blaming Joe Biden for not providing her enough support and defense in her numerous failures as vice president.
Let me read two more quotes, and this has to do with her time as vice president, Bakari, where she did not feel supported by the West Wing. She wrote, they, as in the White House, had a huge comms team. They had Karine Jean-Pierre briefing in the press room every day, but getting anything positive said about my work or defense against untrue attacks was almost impossible. Then Harris continues in these brand new excerpts, and when the stories were unfair or inaccurate, the president's inner circle seemed fine with it. Indeed, it seemed as if they decided I should be knocked down a little more.
No one wanted to defend your creepy cackling and exacerbation of the illegal immigration crisis. I wonder why. Kamala wanted the American people to like her, but her own staff and colleagues didn't like her. Not to mention, Joe Biden's PR team was working overtime trying to cover up for the fact that he was barely alive. Joe Biden had enough failures that they had to lie about and defend. Kamala Harris had every opportunity to make the case for her accomplishments, but instead we got word salads about how she's from a middle-class family and they have lawns where she's from, and people were proud of their lawns. Kamala was a historically unpopular vice president who was undemocratically anointed, bragged about being part of every major decision Joe Biden made, even though the American people hated what Joe Biden did, and then when she was asked what she would do differently, she said nothing. Twice. That's why Kamala Harris lost. It's not that complicated. But MSNBC provides her the sympathy she is looking for and coddles her like a child. Take a look at this.
And I don't think anybody could argue with the fact she was in a really tough position. To go from 0 to 100 in a presidential campaign in 3 months, to have the shadow of Joe Biden's legacy and his capability, casting a very long shadow over her campaign. All of it was really, I can't imagine being a more difficult political or personal situation than she was in. I think she handled it with a great deal of ability, and I think she surprised people at what a strong candidate she was. Mm-hmm. And I mean, candidly, I think she's probably struggling right now about her next steps. She's accomplished a great deal in her life, and I don't think she's gotten the credit she deserves.
This is the problem with the soft, coddled, wimpy, fragile behavior of the Democrats. Right after Trump demolished her, every swing state, 90% of counties moving to the right, electoral college landslide, the popular vote, the House, the Senate. They kept saying how Kamala ran the perfect campaign. She was perfect, the campaign was perfect. The problem is Americans are just racist and misogynist. Instead of realizing they lost badly and having a moment of self-reflection, they immediately patted themselves on the back, showered themselves with praise, handed out participation trophies, and blamed their failures on everyone else. It's the entitled Democrat belief that everything should just be given to them because they're such wonderful, virtuous people. This is the culmination of a 30-year effort by progressives to make everything revolve around feelings and comfort. That's how you get people who believe that they're allowed to defy reality. Men can dress up and become women, and everybody in society is forced to participate in their delusion because otherwise it would be insensitive and hurt their feelings. That's how you get an entire generation of kids who are skittish and anxious and depressed because they were raised their entire life to believe everything revolved around them and their feelings. Then they get out into the real world, realize that isn't true, and it just breaks them.